Well, hey there, everybody. It's Snackbox coming to you from just a glorious day here in Atlanta, Georgia. The birds are singing, the sun is shining, it's nice and chilly, got a little crisp in the air. It's probably the last chilly day we're going to get for the rest of 2022 until the fall comes back. I'm really excited to have this kind of weather and be out here talking to you about Collegiate West Segment 5. This is an incredible segment. It wraps up the Collegiate West. For those of you who are hiking this way, this is where you can start making some plans to rejoin with your friends in the ridgeline just above the South Fooses Creek. When your friends coming east are going to climb a pretty heavy ridge, but you're going to be walking down to where they are. You are in great shape from here. This is an incredible segment. Can't wait to talk to you about it. We got a lot to cover, not a lot of time. Let's get to it. Are you going to be quiet? I'm trying to talk here. Well, knock it off. All right, you win. You win. Birds aren't going to let me talk here today. So the Collegiate West Segment 5 goes from the Boss Lake Trailhead to the ridge above the South Fooses Creek. This is a really incredible segment. It genuinely is, but you need to be very ready for it because it presents some really unique challenges and some really unique opportunities as well. So we're going to cover quite a bit of that, but what you need to know first is that it's about 15.7 miles. It goes up in elevation about 3,800 feet, maybe right in the middle there, and then it goes down in elevation almost 2,300 feet. So you're actually going to be gaining elevation, where in Segment 4 you've lost a little bit of that elevation. The segment starts with a pretty gnarly climb, and then you're going to basically do a little bit of a surfing along that ridge line. So you're going to spend a lot of time kind of doing a slow roll above tree line. So you need to be very, very aware of this in the timing of your trip, because that last 10 miles or so will be almost entirely above tree line. So that's going to obviously present some challenges by way of weather and exposure, and being aware of that is really useful as well. The first tip that I have for you at this segment is to plan around that pass when you're going to cross over US Highway 50. That stretch when you pass Monarch Pass is a really important segment for a lot of people, because this is where you're going to get your resupply, if they're accepting resupply. This year I don't know if they are or not, but it's a really great spot for you to stop for lunch, snacks, some coffee. You can do a lot of different things at that place. At the Monarch Crest store, plan your day around that depending on when you're going to get there, but know that they don't open, I think, until about 8 in the morning, and then they're going to close pretty early as well. Now when you cross US Highway 50 though, what's going to happen, that's about 10 miles into the segment, what's going to happen is you're going to slowly start climbing out of there to where you're going to get up above tree line and start moving your way over, all the way over to the ridge above South Fooses Creek, where the east and west join each other and meet back up. What you want to know about this is that at that point, when you cross US Highway 50, pay very close attention to the tree line. When you get to tree line, that's your last tree cover for a long while, because you'll stay above tree line for the remainder of that segment, and then you're going to basically stay above tree line for the duration of where you meet up in Segment 15 in the Collegiate East. So Segment 15, you'll join in the middle, and you're going to still be above tree line, kind of cruising. It's a beautiful section. You can make some big miles, but you also need to know that there's not much water from there, not until you get to the end of the segment, and there's also not a lot of cover, if any at all. Depending on when you're getting to the US Highway 50, if you're getting there later in the day, wait and watch until you get close to the end of tree line, and when you do, start looking for a campsite, or even backtrack a little bit and find yourself a campsite so you don't end up out of water and exposed for a long time on that segment. This is also a segment similar to Segment 3 that I mentioned, where if you are there on a weekend, you're going to see a lot of mountain bikes. These tend to be a little bit less dangerous than in Segment 3, where they kind of come flying around a corner, mostly because a lot of this segment is going to be uphill, or not as much downhill directly. So a lot of the climbing and elevation is going to be sort of gradual. So a lot of mountain bikers aren't going to be able to get a lot of speed up, where they're going to fly around the corner and scare the bejesus out of you. So that's good to know, but just be aware that there are mountain bikers, and there are also dirt bikers that go through this segment. So keep an eye out for both of those, but especially the mountain bikers, because you tend to not hear them as well until they're right up on you. And finally, the last tip that I have, we're going to talk a little bit about water, and it's really important to know that you need to be thinking about water at this point, because there's a stretch from just past Hunt Lake, you're going to pass a little lake, and that spot is the last water you're going to have for nearly 8 miles until you get past US Highway 50, and you're going to go and you're going to find just one little water source from there, but that's the last water in the segment as well. It's also going to set up about another 5-mile stretch without water. So if you don't have the data book at this point, you need to get the data book, especially because Guthooks is great. I love Guthooks. I have it downloaded on my phone, but at this point you will have been without a battery supply for a good long while, and so your phone might be dead at this point. You need to have that data book. I promise it's worth it. They've made it even lighter this year. The Colorado Trail Foundation uses all the proceeds to help protect this trail that we all love, or are going to love pretty soon. So pick up a data book. That way you can make sure that you know when you need to really stock up on water. This is not like Segment 4 of the Colorado Colorado Trail where you're going to parallel creek after creek after creek and kind of work your way through the mountains following creek by creek. Instead, it's a segment where you're going to go ridgeline, crazy beautiful ridgeline, and so that presents a lot of those challenges by way of water. So I often like to camp at, say, Hunt Lake would be a great place to camp, and then you can take a bunch of water with you that morning and make that 8 miles. So you could take a couple of liters of water, get across US Highway 50, camel up on water, and then make your way over to the Marshall Pass trailhead. That'd be a great way to kind of time it out to make sure that you stay really hydrated. And again, up above tree line, you're going to get dehydrated much more quickly, but know that there are 2 stretches in segment 5, about an 8-mile stretch without water, and then a 5-mile stretch at the very end without water that leads into another stretch without a lot of water, because when you join in the next segment, there's not much beyond that. So get that data book, make sure that you're following it and planning out your camping sites according to water. A lot of the lakes in this segment, you'll be able to find some spots where you can still be leave no trace and camp 100 feet away from it, but you just need to be planning ahead and really thinking through where's the next water, and make sure that you're set up for that. A lot of these are also great spots for you to take a dip in the water and kind of get clean-ish, I guess. And they're really beautiful, really chilly though. It's going to be great. You're going to love this segment. It's incredible. Anytime you're seeing a lot of mountain bikes, you can rest assured that the views are going to be pretty incredible, or at least the trails are going to be pretty well kept and really great, because a lot of people don't want to voluntarily ride their bicycle or even their dirt bike on a stretch that's really gnarly and gross. It's a great segment. I hope you find this information really useful. I'm super excited about it. Make sure you pick up that Colorado Trail data book. They've got the new one out just now. Buy a copy of that one, get it in the mail, start studying it. It will get you excited. And I think ultimately that's what this whole series is about. Chances are good that you're going to find some of the advice doesn't apply to your situation when you actually get out there in the trail. And what we're really just doing here is cultivating excitement about that hike. And so getting the data book is just another piece of that excitement. So go grab yourself a copy of it. It's great. I really encourage you to do so from the Colorado Trail Foundation website. Support that organization so future generations can be hiking as well. If you find this information useful, I hope you'll click like and subscribe. I hope that you'll join this community by doing so, because we've got a really great little community forming. And if you're planning to thru hike the Colorado Trail this year, I'm really excited to hopefully get to meet you at somewhere between Denver and Durango. Let me know when you're going to start that hike so I can kind of have in mind, oh, I'm going to see so-and-so somewhere around Buena Vista or wherever it might be. So I'm excited about that. And lastly, if you find me on Instagram at Backcountry Champion, just send me a message. You don't even have to follow me. Just say, hey, listen, I'd like an outside comfort zone sticker. I'll put one in the mail to you for free. You don't even have to pay for it. It's just my way of saying thank you for being part of this community. I'm just really grateful for all the support you all have offered. Looking forward to talking to you soon about segment 16 of the Colorado Trail. No more zigzagging back and forth across the Collegiate Range. We're going straight into some of the most beautiful stretches. We're going to talk next time about Sargent's Mesa. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up. We're going to be able to punch out some big miles coming up soon. So get your legs ready. It's time to hike the CT. That's all I've got for you, everybody. This Snack Box out. Have a great day. Whoa. Are you gonna eat it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No. Don't. Here. Don't eat it.
It's all day.
Yeah, it's super gross.